What's good, sports fans? Are you ready to elevate your live entertainment experience? Well, let me introduce you to SeatGeek, an amazing platform that connects you to your favorite events while saving you money. With SeatGeek, you can easily find tickets for sports games, concerts, and so much more, all in one place. The interface is user-friendly, making it simple to browse and compare prices. And one of the best features is the interactive seating chart. You can see exactly where you'll be sitting and how much you'll be spending, ensuring you get the best value for your money. But here's the best part. Check this out. By using my promo code, ChalkItUpSports, you can enjoy a one-time $20 discount on your first SeatGeek order. That's right, $20 off your first SeatGeek order. Imagine catching that thrilling game or concert without breaking the bank. It's a win-win situation. Plus, you'll be a part of a community of fans who eat, sleep, and breathe live events just as much as you do. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description to download the SeatGeek app today. And don't forget to use my promo code ChalkItUpSports for a one-time $20 discount on your first SeatGeek order. Get excited. Now let's get back to the show. Yeah. This is your boy, Tone DeShields II. You guys are locked in on your dose of Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the hate. Thank you guys for being here on this Victory Monday. Your Philadelphia Eagles have improved to 2-1, man. It's been a hard fought past 3 weeks, man. Week 1 was a fight. Week 2 was a fight, and we kind of blew it, basically. And week 3 was a fight as well, man. Both defenses for both teams showed up for the most part, and it just came down to a matter of who's going to make the play at the end. And your Philadelphia Eagles made the necessary plays to win that football game yesterday, so we got to give them credit for that through all the turbulence, right? Man, the Saints managed to keep points off the board, but the Eagles were moving the ball very, very well. And we have so much to get into from that game, so much to break down, so much more that I want to elaborate on with you guys. You know, yesterday when we were talking about the game, we were very all over the place, very sporadic in how we were breaking down what we saw, right? We were kind of just reacting. And I was reading your comments, things of that nature. And I appreciate you guys for delivering your comments. It really helps the show go forward. Today we're going to be a little bit more cleaner in how we're going to address the game and break down the game. We're going to have a little bit of a format here, a little bit of a structure as we break down this game, as we normally do have a structure. So I'm going to get to your comments. Don't stop commenting, you guys. Don't stop engaging with each other. I'm going to get to as many of your comments in your super chats as I possibly can. But I wanted to try to get through my talking points as smoothly and as succinctly as possible. Then we'll be able to react from there. But before we get into that, you guys, make sure you smash your like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the show, especially if you're new, right? If you're new to the show, if this is your first time listening, thank you guys so much for being here. It means a lot to me. I know you have a ton of options, and you probably landed on me because YouTube suggested it. So thank you for taking a shot on me, and hopefully you like what you hear, you like what you see, and you'll be able to stick around here for the foreseeable future. So thank you for that. Again, smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed. And I want to give another special shout out to those who are watching on Apple Podcasts, or those of you who are listening on Apple Podcasts. Some of you who are listening and watching on Spotify, right? Thank y'all so much for supporting that. We're trying to expand the show. We're trying to put the platform and the content in as many areas as possible and we only can succeed with you guys. And we've only been able to make these strides because of you guys. So again, thank you guys for tuning in on Spotify, watching and listening. Thank you guys for listening on Apple Podcasts. You guys can tune into the show on all those platforms, YouTube for the live streams, Spotify and Apple Podcasts for the post after the fact. Every time we go live, right, whenever the live stream ends, we're going to add the content onto Spotify and we're going to add it on to Apple Podcasts within the hour. So thank you guys so much for supporting the show in all ways possible. Thank you guys for investing in the channel with the super chats. Thank you guys for supporting the giveaways, being really involved with that. We've blessed a lot of people with our giveaways thus far. Thank you guys for supporting the merchandise as well. The merch is selling pretty well, and you guys have been supporting that in flying colors. I really do appreciate that. So thank you guys so much for that. So yeah, man. Yeah, like I said, you guys have been supporting the giveaways big time. I want to give a shout out to one of my giveaway winners from a couple weeks ago. I didn't get a chance to show her the love that she rightfully deserved. I want to give a shout out to my girl, Fanny, the Eagles fan. Shout out to Fanny, Eagles fan. Shout out to her. She was one of our giveaway winners from, I believe, last week or the week before. She received the midnight green Eagles beanie and gloves. You know what I mean? So I appreciate her for supporting the show. Shout out to Fanny. Fanny shows mad love. Fanny is mad active in the live chat. I think she was one of the first people to actually one of the first people to drop a chat today. Yep, Fanny the Eagles fan. So shout out to Fanny. Really do appreciate her. And we wouldn't be where we are without Fanny. So shout out to Fanny. I'm glad you're enjoying the merchandise. I'm glad Chalk It Up Sports was able to bless you as we start to get into these fall seasons. The weather is going to start breaking soon. So make sure you guys lock in and buy your Chalk It Up Sports hoodies and your sweatshirts. And we're going to be giving out more items for you guys throughout this football season. So shout out to Fanny. I really do appreciate her. And like I said, a lot of you guys have been buying the merch. I want to give a shout out to my mom. My mom locked in on the merch as of recently, man, and she looks great. I got to post this to show you guys, man. My mom is throwing it on. I appreciate her. Check this out. So this is my mom. My mom is rocking her Apex Predator t-shirt. Shout out to her. She looks great in that. Love her for that. Love my family. Love my people for supporting the content, supporting the merchandise. Goes a long way, you guys. And I know we're about 8 minutes deep into the show. And I know some of you guys are just fiending for your football talk. We're going to get to it. But I just want to, take care of some housekeeping, right? You guys have been awesome. And I want to be able to, share that with you guys. Again, shout out to my mother who's supporting the show in more ways than one. Means a lot, man. Means a lot. All right. Now, again, smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed before you get too comfortable. Smash that like button. Smash that like button. Smash that like button. And we're going to get to all your comments. We're going to get to all your super chats in a jiffy. Trust me when I say that. But I want to get to what I have on the docket today. I want to get to what I really want to talk about. Like I said yesterday, we were just reacting to the game, raw emotion, right? Not really having a flow. We were just talking, having fun. But today, we're going to have a little bit more of a cleaner discussion, a much more clearer discussion. We're going to address the good, the bad, the ugly, the optimism, the realism. We're going to get into all of it, okay? So buckle up. Make sure you guys are locked in. Make sure you got your beverages, your snack, your lunch, whatever you're doing right now. Some of you guys are listening on your lunch break right now. Some of you guys are probably in the car driving for your job listening right now. Maybe some of you guys are home with the kids. Maybe one of your kids is sick and now you got to play double duty, right? Maybe it was supposed to be your off day, but somehow, some way, your kid has a field trip today or whatever it may be. So whatever it is, wherever you guys are, my blue collar people, my white collar people, those of you who are getting it out the mud, those of you guys who are getting it in the offices, right? My construction workers, my first responders, my factory workers. You feel what I'm saying? My people who are street entrepreneurs. You feel what I'm saying? So shout out to all of you guys who are getting it how you live. And my students, right? My college students. Shout out to you guys, right? My kids in high school. Shout out to y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. All right. And my truck drivers. Come on, man. Can't forget the truck drivers. Y'all the main reason I actually put the content on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Y'all the main reason. I wanted to take care of my truck drivers. I wanted to take care of all my people who spend their time in their car making that money. So I appreciate y'all. All right. So let's get into it. Let's not waste any more time. We're 10 minutes deep. We've exchanged enough pleasantries. Let's talk about the reality. You know, despite all the ups and the downs that this team has experienced and put us through, the Philadelphia Eagles still have that fight in them. That's the one thing that was on display. That's the one thing that was on display, right? Despite all the turbulence, all the ups, all the downs, all the cake, all the chaos, you still saw a football team that has pride. You saw a football team that has grit, that has guts, that still has that fervor and that desire to win football games and to put up a good product. It ain't over to the fat lady sing. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. I'm going to be totally honest because y'all my people. When the Saints drove down the field and they scored that touchdown off of Chris Olave, the Chris Olave touchdown, I'll be honest. I thought we lost the game. I thought the game was over. I'm just being fair with you guys. I'm being honest. I had a moment of doubt yesterday. I didn't get a chance to speak about that yesterday, but I had a moment of doubt. After the Saints drove down the field and Chris Olave scored that touchdown, I thought we were finito, if I'm being honest. But Jalen Hurts, Dallas Goedert, Saquon Barkley, they showed up in tremendous fashion when it mattered most, right? So listen, hear me out. After last week's game, after last week's loss to the Falcons, we all asked ourselves, does this Eagles team have any heart? Especially on the defensive side. We said that to ourselves. Does this team have heart? I read y'all tweets. I read some of y'all comments, some of them. I don't read them all. But I read y'all tweets, and y'all tweets were very clear. Does this team have heart? Do they have pride? Are they going to look in the mirror and say, you know what? These past 2 weeks or whatever happened last week is unacceptable. Speaking for myself, I had no idea of what to expect in this Saints game, this matchup with the Philadelphia Eagles. I had no idea what to expect. Sure, I had my predictions and so on and so forth, right? But overall, I had no idea what to expect because the defense was dealing with their own issues. The offense was still trying to get their bearings with the new OC and things of that nature, right? You know, Jalen Hurts and his turnover issues. We're going to talk about that later on. But I had no idea of what to really expect in this game, knowing how good the Saints have been the past couple weeks, knowing how explosive they've been, knowing how good they've been on defense. They've been a hard team to gauge. Same thing for the Philadelphia Eagles. So again, speaking for myself, I had no idea on what to expect going into this game. We knew the offense at the time, prior to the game. We knew the offense was capable of putting up points. And we knew the defense could definitely hang their hat on their red zone efficiency. Eagles, I believe, right now, or prior to the game, were top 10 in points. They were top 10 in red zone efficiency on defense. So we knew this team could put points up, and they could also prevent teams from putting points on the board. More like touchdowns, right? We knew that. But other than that, we knew this Eagles team struggled to stop the run. We knew they struggled to rush the passer to get to the quarterback. And we also knew this Eagles quarterback, Jalen Hurts, has been dealing with turnover issues. But yesterday, you guys, we saw how good this defense can actually be when they play motivated, when they play inspired, when they actually play with some level of pride and self-respect and with the chip on their shoulder. We saw what this defense can look like when they are clicking, in particular the defense. We saw how good this defense can be when they are clicking on all cylinders. Like I said before, the Saints came into this game red hot. back-to-back weeks, dropping 40 points on your opponent. They put up over 90 points over the course of 2 games. They were one of the most efficient teams in the league, one of the best running teams. They were putting massive points on the board. They were efficient. They were scoring on consecutive drives, back-to-back. Their defense was playing well, didn't allow a single opponent to put up 20 points on them over the past couple weeks. They were very, very good top to bottom. They looked well coached. Clint Kubiak, their new OC, looked like he had the pulse of that team. Derek Carr looked like he had new life. Alvin Kamara looked fresher than ever. So coming into that game, we knew the Saints had plenty of equity. Or let's just say they had plenty of heat churning behind their name. They were literally the most explosive team in football over the past 2 weeks. That's a fact. We can't change the narrative now. Now, of course, you got to monitor your expectations over the course of 2 weeks, right? It's only been 2 weeks. You can't really judge a team in that small of a sample size. But based on what they've done, they were by far the most dominant and the most effective and the most explosive team over the first 2 weeks of the season. That is a fact. Nobody can change that narrative. They will try, but that's a fact. And you have to, at the end of the day, you got to play the team as they are, not as you think they are or as you expect them to be. You got to play a team as they show you. And so far, the Saints were a team that were putting massive numbers on the board. They smacked the Cowboys on the road. They smacked the Panthers, even though that's not a hard feat. But the big win was beating the Cowboys in Jerry World, in Big Dallas. So yesterday, we saw how good this defense can be when they play motivated, when they play inspired, when they play up to the competition. And the Eagles came in and shut them down. And I'm not talking about, a spotty performance. That defense, that Eagles defense was flying around the yard all day from beginning to end. Did they have a drive? Did they have a drive in there when they gave up some points here and there? Sure. They gave up 2 field goals and a touchdown. They were stonewalling them in the red zone. They gave up 1 touchdown on the back end. It's only a matter of time, right? That Saints team is it's still a talented offense. They're going to put some kind of point to the board, so you can't keep them out the end zone forever. But to hold them to 12 points when they were averaging 40-plus points a week, when they were averaging north of 400 yards of offense, 350 yards of offense over the past 2 weeks, and you hold them to under 250 yards of total offense? Oh, my God. Come on, man. We're going to get into all of that. We're going to get into all that. We're going to get into it. You held this team, the New Orleans Saints, to season lows in rushing, passing, and total yards and points scored. You held them to season lows in damn near every meaningful category. And on top of that, their 2 most explosive players so far through the first 2 games, their most explosive players, their 2 most explosive players on offense were neutralized. Completely neutralized. Non-factors for the most part in that game. Did not do anything meaningful. Those 2 players, Alvin Kamara, Rashid Shaheed. Now, obviously, Chris Olave is the number 1 in New Orleans. Chris Olave is a better wide receiver than Rashid Shaheed. I'm not going to sit here and argue with you guys about that. But in terms of being their most explosive player over the past 2 weeks, Rashid Shaheed has been their most explosive wide receiver. Rashid Shaheed has been their speed guy, the guy that can take the top off of the defense. Alvin Kamara, another player who has been their most explosive on that offense. They had been relying on Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara's production is a direct catalyst to their success. That's a fact. Listen to this. Let me try to give y'all some perspective. Let me give y'all some perspective, okay? Because y'all my people, and this is what we do here. Check this out. I posted this on Twitter, and I want you guys to just take a gander. Check this out. Prior to yesterday's game, Saints receiver Rashid Shaheed, 7 receptions on 9 targets through 2 games, 169 receiving yards, averaging 24 yards of reception and 2 touchdowns. Prior to yesterday's game, 7 catches, 169, averaging 24 yards a catch, 2 touchdowns. He has been, by definition, their most explosive player, averaging 24 yards of reception. Seriously? That's insane. That's Deshaun Jackson numbers. But when he played the Philadelphia Eagles, oh, no. 5 targets, no receptions, no reception yards, no touchdowns, a complete non-factor. Darius Slay was in that ass. Quinyon Mitchell was in that ass. Come on, man. Strapped. Put the clamps on him. Shark bite. Alligator bite. You're not letting go. You feel what I'm saying? Rashid Shaheed, non-factor. Non-factor. Because that defense stepped up in a way that we did not anticipate. Alvin Kamara. Listen to this. Let me give y'all some numbers from Alvin Kamara. Let me give y'all some numbers. Because Alvin Kamara, again, I can show y'all better than I can tell y'all. And for those of you who are listening on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify, I'm going to read this off to you guys. Those of you guys who are watching on YouTube and watching on Spotify, you guys will be able to see this. Check this out. Alvin Kamara, man. When I say he's been their most productive player, he's been one of the most productive players. All right, follow me here, you guys. Sorry about the little hiccup. All right. Alvin Kamara. Against Carolina, 15 carries, 83 yards, averaged over 5 yards a carry, a rushing touchdown, 5 catches, 27 yards. He had over 100 yards from scrimmage, averaged 5 yards a touch, and a touchdown. Let's go to the Dallas game, right, where they beat him 44-19. 20 carries, 115 rushing yards, averaged almost 6 yards of reception, or 6 yards of rush, 3 touchdowns, 2 catches, 65 yards, a touchdown. He had 4 touchdowns and over 180 yards, or he had 180 yards from scrimmage. He was averaging, I want to say, damn near 10 yards a play or damn near 10 yards a touch, Alvin Kamara. And then against the Eagles, 26 carries, 87 yards, only averaged 3 yards a touch. He did have over 120 yards from scrimmage. I will give him that, right? He had that big catch in the passing game on Zach Bond, caught it for 27 yards. That was a big catch. I'll give him that. But if you take away that 27-yard catch, he only has 13 yards on 2 targets, on 2 catches. Follow me here. If he got 27 yards on that 1 catch on Zach Bond, you take away 27 yards from that 40, that leaves 13. You mean to tell me he only got 13 yards receiving if you exclude that big play? So again, the Philadelphia Eagles did a good job suppressing Alvin Kamara. They did a good job suppressing Rashid Shaheed. And you want to know why that works so well? You want to know why that's such a big deal, Eagles fans? Because the reason Rashid Shaheed was able to benefit from this offense in such a way. The reason Rashid Shaheed was so explosive is because he was able to get open in the play action. The play action would be set up by Alvin Kamara's illustrious play. So when you eliminate Alvin Kamara from the equation, and then you eliminate the play action, that neutralizes how good of a quarterback Derek Carr can be, which then in turn neutralizes Rashid Shaheed's impact on the defense. The perfect cocktail for disaster was a successful running game by the Saints, which would lead to a successful play action game, which would give Rashid Shaheed full real estate to operate. Because now your defense has to respect the run. But because your defense was so stout against the run game, they didn't have to respect the play action at all, which gave the Eagles a leg up in the passing game, in pass defense, which gave Quinyon Mitchell opportunity to recover, which gave Darius Slay opportunities to recover. CJ and Reed Blankenship, right? Now, CJ he did give up the touchdown to Chris Olave, but again, they were stout all game. You're going to give up something to that team. They're talented. But again, like I said, it's a chain reaction. It's a cumulative effect. Because we said this prior to the game. Remember this. We said this prior to the game. Who will the Saints be? Who will Derek Carr be without the run game? And we found out when we neutralized Alvin Kamara. He was not able to get to the edges. He was not able to break one. I give so much credit to Zach Bond and BG for being amazing in the run game, especially when it came to setting the edge. Josh Sweat, same thing, did very well setting the edge tonight or yesterday. Jalen Carter was spectacular. Jalen Carter was the best player on the field yesterday by far. He was dominant. Did you know in that game, Jalen Carter was the highest graded DT so far on the season? According to Pro Football Focus, and again, I don't take their word for gospel. I take it with a grain of salt. But did you know, according to Pro Football Focus, Jalen Carter was the highest graded defensive tackle throughout the NFL for the extent of the season? Like it's pretty remarkable. Again, the Saints relied heavily on Alvin Kamara. The Saints were a well-balanced team. As a matter of fact, they were running more than they were passing. They were using the run to set up the pass. And they were taking so much pressure over Derek Carr with that running game. With Alvin Kamara averaging 5-6 yards a carry prior to yesterday's game, and then you hold him to 3 yards a carry, 26 carries, 87 yards. Not much of a factor in this game. Getting stonewalled. Man. That's the best that defense has played in what, 2 years? Let's be honest with ourselves. That's the best game the defense has played in what, 2 years, correct? Or at least a year and a half, last season and this year? That's the best defense I've seen him play. The best defense I've seen him play in over a year. So we found out who Derek Carr was without the running game. We found out who Derek Carr was when Rashid Shaheed can't get off, right? Chris Olave, he got his numbers. Chris Olave had, 5 catches for like 80-something yards, had a touchdown, but he was a non-factor. He did convert some key third downs for the Saints. I will give them that. They did go to him as their go-to guy, but for the most part, he was a non-factor. And the biggest takeaway for me that we haven't talked about yet on the show is how they started the game with the 5-man fronts. The Philadelphia Eagles showed their hand from the get-go. They made it very clear in that game. You will not run the ball. You're going to have to kill us to run this ball. Vic Fangio started that game out with 5-man fronts. And they held up those 5-man fronts for the better part of that game. I think once they got deeper into the third and deeper into the fourth quarter, you saw the 5-man fronts turn into 4-man fronts. But for the most part in that game, The Eagles played in 5-man fronts, and they were remarkable. And whenever they were in a 4-man front, you would see them be in the nickel formation, right? And then you would see Zach Bond leak down to the edge to seal off. That was the trickery, right? When the Saints thought they had a running lane, you would see Zach Bond start out in the nickel spot, right? Or you would see Zach Bond start out, right? Or the defense would start out in the nickel formation. You'll see Zach Bond right there floating on the second level. And then right before the snap, Zach Bond would line up right next to BG on the edge. Or he'll line up right next to Bryce Huff on the edge. And they would seal off the running game. They did a great job scouting the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, the Eagles did a great job scouting the Saints. The Saints love to get on the edge with their running back, Alvin Kamara. Their zone running scheme, chef's kiss by Vic Fangio. Chef's kiss by Vic Fangio. So like I said, we found out exactly who Derek Carr was. And I'm going to get to your comments, you guys. Trust me, I'm going to get to them. And I'm going to get to the super chats. Thank you guys so much for supporting the show. We found out exactly who Derek Carr was. The Eagles defense held Derek Carr to a 56% completion percentage, forcing him to go 14 to 25, 142 passing yards, 1 touchdown and 1 interception. That's the second quarterback the Philadelphia Eagles have held to under 60% completion percentage. That's the second quarterback the Philadelphia Eagles have held to a completion percentage of less than 60%. They've held Jordan Love to about 56, 57% completion percentage in that game in week 1. They held Derek Carr to 56% completion percentage. There were times last year where quarterbacks customarily 70%, 65%, sometimes 80% completion percentage. That's not bad, Eagles fans. That's not bad at all. Was that run defense horrible the first 2 weeks? Absolutely. Was that pass rush horrible the first 2 weeks? Absolutely. But the red zone defense is legitimate. The passing defense in terms of the DBs is improved. Your linebacker play is improved. Based off of that performance in the Saints game, D-line play has taken a step forward. Can they string it together? Can they be more consistent? That's the bigger question. But again, I want to stay more on the positive. I want to stay more in the moment here. Keep smashing that like button, y'all. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. Thank y'all so much. Keep hitting that like button. Once again, Derek Carr was held to a 56% completion percentage, forcing him to go 14 of 25 throwing the ball, 142 passing yards, 1 passing touchdown, and 1 interception. Let me show y'all something else, by the way. Let me show y'all something else, because y'all my people. I love y'all for this. I love y'all. Let me show y'all something else. Check this out. Check this out, check this out, check this out. Darius Slay and Quinyon Mitchell had a day. Check this out. So, according to my man Jeff Kerr from CBS, shout out to Jeff Kerr, that's my guy. According to him, Derek Carr, when targeting the Eagles' corners in week 3, Quinyon Mitchell forced Derek Carr to go 3 of 5 for 29 yards with a 64.6 passer rating. Darius Slay forced Derek Carr to go 1 of 2 on 9 yards with a 56.3 passer rating. Combined, Quinyon Mitchell and Darius Slay allowed Derek Carr to go 4 for 7 for 38 yards with an average passer rating of 60. That was some quick math, if you guys didn't notice. But Quinyon Mitchell and Darius Slay were phenomenal. Is it fair to say that Quinyon Mitchell can extend Darius Slay's career? I know we haven't talked about this yet, right? And I know a lot of you guys are ready to move on from Slay. And I know a lot of us have spoken about how this may be Darius Slay's last year in Philadelphia. But is it fair to surmise that if Darius Slay can stay healthy, hopefully that injury he dealt with didn't hamper him too much from Penning doing a dirty play. But is it possible? Is it possible that Quinyon Mitchell can extend Slade's career? Just asking a question off the top of my head. You guys, I didn't even game plan for that question. That just came off the top of my head. That just came off the top of my head. I just want to ask you guys. That's all. That's all. But kudos to Quinyon Mitchell. Kudos to Darius Slay for shutting down Rashid Shaheed and keeping Chris Olave contained for the most part. You know what this tells me also? This tells me Derek Carr was trying to attack our linebackers. Derek Carr was trying. You know what this? Yo, you guys, follow me here, right? Okay, we got it. Y'all don't want Slay here. We got it. Y'all don't want Slay here. We get it. All right. Follow me here. Listen to this, right? Again, this is me just thinking on the fly now. If Quinyon Mitchell and Darius Slay were only targeted 7 times between the two, right? And if Derek Carr threw 25 attempts, so listen, out of 25 attempts by Derek Carr, 7 of those attempts went to either Quinyon Mitchell or Darius Slay. That means 18 of his 25 attempts, he was targeting linebackers. He was targeting the slot. He still couldn't get off. 18 of his 25 targets, he was targeting Devontae Maddox. He was targeting Zach Bond, Nakobe Dean. He probably was targeting Reed Blankenship and CJ. He still couldn't get off. That's the reality. Moving on. Now, although the Eagles only got 1 sack in this game as a team, courtesy of Jordan Davis, got to give a lot of love to Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis was amazing. He did a great job holding the line. He did a great job getting off his blocks, did a great job getting tackles for loss, pass deflections, a sack. He was amazing. He was good in the pass rush. He was good in run defense. I feel like Vic Fangio did an amazing job rotating his defensive line. He did an amazing job reading the room. We're going to give everybody their flowers. We're going to talk about everybody. Trust me, we're giving everybody their flowers, you guys. Don't worry. We're giving everybody their flowers today. But Jordan Davis was extremely effective. The Eagles' pass rush as a whole was extremely effective. They forced Derek Carr into several poor decisions with the football. The Eagles were dominant in run defense as well. Jalen Carter! Breadman! The baby rhino! Jalen Carter is the real motherfucking deal. You can't tell me nothing about that man. Can't tell me nothing. Breadman. Jalen Carter was a menace. He dominated the trenches. He deflected 2 passes at the line of scrimmage, and he also had 2 tackles for loss. He looked spectacular in the run game. He looked spectacular rushing the passer. I want to give a lot of love to Zach Bond. Yo, Zach Bond, I told y'all. When we signed Zach Bond, as we were making it through training camp and the OTAs and mandatory minicamp, I told y'all. I said, listen, Zach Bond is going to be a decent player. Some of y'all didn't believe me. Why didn't you believe me? Yo. Oh my God. Listen, I'm going to get to y'all chats. I'm going to get to y'all comments. Trust me, I got you. I'm getting every super chat. It's not in vain, y'all. But why didn't you believe me? Why didn't you believe me? I said Zach Bond is going to be a solid player. I said, listen, I don't know how good, but I think he's going to be all right. I said it's something about him. I can feel it. I can feel it. I can feel it. So far, Zach Barnes has delivered you 2 spectacular games out of 3. Let's be honest. Zach Barnes is in the green. Zach Barnes is in the green. We got to stop lying. Zach Barnes is in the green. So far, through 3 weeks, he's given you 2 spectacular performances. He's in the green. So simple as that. And we're gonna get to the super chats, even the dumb ones. Don't worry. We're gonna get to the super chats, even the dumb ones, because they still got to play tonight. We're gonna get to all them, and I appreciate y'all for locking on the content. I'm still getting through this topic here with you guys. I'm still getting through this. So yeah, and sorry for we're going through some Wi-Fi issues, you guys. My apologies. So yeah, Jordan Davis was spectacular. Zach Barnes, Jalen Carter, Nakobe Dean played very, very, very well. Very well. Nakobe Dean has shocked me. He's been phenomenal. He's been phenomenal. I got to be honest. Nakobe Dean has played way better than I thought he would. And Nakobe Dean has become somebody that I am not paying too much attention to for good reason. For good reason. For good reason, you guys. Nakobe Dean, you got to appreciate it. But BG was great. Jordan Davis, Milton Williams, Thomas Booker played well again. Moro Jomo was good. Josh Sweat was solid. Nolan Smith actually had a decent game. Nolan Smith got pressure. Nolan Smith was all right. Nolan Smith was good in run defense too. They was all right. The worst player on the D-line was Bryce Huff. Bryce Huff continues to be a liability in run defense. He's very inconsistent. He's very inconsistent in the run game. He has not been able to get pressure in the pass rush. And if you noticed, it got to a point in that game where Zach Barnes and BG were taking his snaps on the edge, especially in early down situations. And he would come in during clear pass scenarios like 3rd and long. But for the most part, Bryce Huff, they didn't trust him in the run defense. They didn't trust him in the run game. That's a fact. I want to give credit to Darius Slay, Quinyon Mitchell, Avonte Maddox, Reed Blankenship, and CJ GJ. They played very well as a group. Quinyon Mitchell ended the game with 2 pass deflections. The biggest takeaway from that game on defense is that no one on the Saints offense was able to dictate the terms of engagement. And that's the type of defense you want your guys playing. Overall, the Eagles held the red-hot Saints offense to 219 total yards, 130 passing yards, 89 rush yards, and forced the game-sealing interception by Reed Blankenship, which was caused by the pressure up the middle by BG and off the edge by Josh Sweat. Reed Blankenship, another player that I've been high on, another player that I've always liked. Some of you guys will criticize him. Is he the fastest player? No. Is he the most athletic? No. But he is instinctual. He knows where to be. He knows how to get that burst of speed. He knows how to get that burst of speed to get that interception. His ball skills are legitimate. He has good hands. He tackles very well. He's good in run defense. Man, oh, man. Reed Blankenship, we're getting a steal for his services. Right now he leads the Eagles in interceptions. He has 2 in the season, 2 in the first 3 games. He's done very well. Very, very, very well. So kudos to Reed Blankenship. Quinyon Mitchell, brother, you're getting so close. You are getting so close to these interceptions, brother. You got to catch one of them. Quinyon Mitchell could have had 3 pick sixes in 3 weeks. But nonetheless, he still gets the PD, the pass deflections, and he's playing very well, man, for a rookie. Not bad for a corner out of Toledo. Just saying. Not bad for a cornerback out of Toledo. Not bad for a corner out of the MAC. You feel what I'm saying? Not bad. So I want to give credit. I want to give kudos to Vic Fangio. I want to give kudos to Clint Hurt, the D-line coach. I want to give credit to Christian Parker, the passing game coordinator and the defensive backs coach for the defense. I want to give credit to Roy Anderson, the cornerbacks coach, Joe Casper, the safeties coach, Bobby King, the interior linebackers coach, Jeremiah Washburn, the edge and off-ball linebackers coach. I give credit to those coaches this week on defense. They got those fellas right. They practiced hard, and it all showed up on the field. I got to give credit to those coaches. They got those boys right. That's a fact. Vic Fangio said, listen, all right, it's been 2 weeks. I've been trying my hardest to not have to get to these 5-man fronts. I've been trying to see if we can stop the run with 4-man fronts. Okay. Enough is enough. You saw your coordinator make an adjustment. Not 5 weeks or not 8 or 10 weeks into a season. You saw your coordinator and your defensive coaches make an adjustment 3 weeks into the season. That's what you're supposed to do. You give your team a fair shot at something. You give them a fair opportunity to prove they can do one thing. If they can't prove it to you, you make an adjustment. This is what I was talking about, right? Making the necessary adjustments so things don't get out of hand, so things don't snowball on you. So now teams have to respect your defense for what they've shown against that offense. They have to respect it now. I give so much respect, so much kudos to those coaches on defense. Vic Fangio, Clint Hurt, Christian Parker, Roy Anderson, Joe Casper, Bobby King, Jeremiah Washburn. I give so much credit to those guys. And I give so much credit to the players for being receptive, for receiving the coaching. So much credit to go around on the defense side of the ball. The performance was huge. It was a confidence booster. And now, Eagles fans, it's now time for this defense, for these players to start stringing together these performances. Can we connect the dots? Can we start to build this brick by brick? Can we stack these performances? Each week, we've had something positive to say about the red zone defense, right? So that's becoming a trend. The Eagles have a real red zone defense. That's a fact. 3 weeks in a row, back against the wall, that red zone defense is legitimate. But the run defense and the pass rush, that was the question mark. You struggled in back-to-back weeks, week 1 and week 2. In week 1, you saw flashes of a strong run defense, right? They did keep Josh Jacobs bottled up the first half in week 1. But then second half, they couldn't stop him. And then week 2, run defense was non-existent. Pass rush was non-existent. Week 3, run defense, stout. Pass rush, very, very prevalent. You got to stack these days. You got to string these together. You have to continue to play complementary football. I loved what I saw from that defense. And going forward, the Eagles are going to need more from Bryce Huff. They're going to need more. There were some run fits where I saw Bryce Huff like, okay, all right, good job. There were some, far in between though. But for the most part, non-factor. But overall, again, the performance, huge confidence booster for the defense. Now you got to stack the days. Now you got to stack the reps. Continue to play above the rim. Don't play down to the competition. Everybody deserves to get touched. Everybody deserves to get their head taken off. Simple as that. Now, let me get to your comments here. Let me get to your comments, y'all. I really do appreciate y'all being patient. Thank y'all for allowing me to get through my soliloquy. Thank y'all for your patience. DankBirdGang 52 with the $2 super chat. He says, why didn't y'all believe me when I told y'all about Nakobe Dean? Listen. Bird Gang, Dank, I'll be the first one to tell you. When it came to Nakobe Dean, I never said he was a good player, never said he was a bad player. My biggest knock on him was stay healthy, brother. That was it. If you stay healthy, I can find out what you are. That was my biggest knock on him. Stay healthy so I can find out exactly who you are. And he's been healthy, and he's been showing us who he is. But I'm not going to act like I wasn't down on him, Dank. I ain't going to fake the funk. I've been down on Nakobe Dean. I wasn't the most optimistic in Nakobe Dean. He was getting beat out in training camp from Devin White and Zach Bond. And all of a sudden, he beats out Devin White to play game one. And it's been that, and Devin White has been a healthy scratch for 2 straight weeks. I don't understand what that's about. Maybe we can discuss that later down the line. But as far as Nakobe Dean goes, staying back on topic, getting back to your super chat. Thank you so much for it. Nakobe Dean has been playing very well. He's been solid. He has surpassed my expectations thus far. He has been great in run defense. Can he improve in coverage? Absolutely. He's not the best going backwards. But going forward, I trust that brother. So, Dank, kudos to you for not giving up on him. Me personally, I was losing faith a little bit. I was losing faith. I didn't know if he could stay healthy. I was struggling. I was struggling to believe what I saw. And lo and behold, man, he's been having a good season thus far. A good season. Same thing with Zach Bond. Thank you, Dink, for your super chat. Here's Infamous, ready to shit on the party. All right, my man Infamous with the $4.99 super chat. He says, stop trying to convince yourself your bottom 5 corners became good over a week, Tone. Your D-line got hat on a hat, so obviously y'all got pressure. First of all, you're out of pocket for saying our bottom 5 corners. You are smoking crack. Smoking crack. There hasn't been a single week where Quinyon Mitchell has been a liability so far this season. There hasn't been a single week when Darius Slade was a liability. Like, please. Talk to me when your man Emmanuel Forbes. Talk to me when Emmanuel Forbes becomes a man. Talk to me when Emmanuel Forbes becomes someone you can trust. Okay? Talk to me then. And Infamous, you know I love you. You my man. Thank you for your donation, brother. You are a core member of this community, whether we love you or hate you. But to call Darius Slade and Quinyon Mitchell bottom 5 corners is an overreach. That's even an overreach for you. That's an overreach for you, brother. Quinyon Mitchell was great in week 1. Quinyon Mitchell had a decent week 2. And he had a even better week 3. So far, Quinyon Mitchell hasn't given up a touchdown, I don't think. Right? I could be wrong. But so far, he hasn't given up a touchdown. And I think right now, he's tied for the league. He's tied for the lead in pass deflections on the season right now. Just saying. I could be wrong. I just want to make sure. I mean, somebody tell me different. I don't know. Thank you, Infamous, for your $4.99 super chat, though, brother. I really do appreciate you. You know how we get down. It's a love-hate relationship. Daniel Bigelow with the $2 super chat. Thank you, brother. Looking good in that suit, my man. He says, Bryce Huff and Nolan Smith still no shows. Nolan didn't get a sack, but Nolan got pressure. Bryce Huff, I agree with you 100%. Bryce Huff was a no-show for the most part in that game. That's a fact. But Nolan Smith, he was all right. He played good in run defense. Nolan Smith was on the field more than Bryce Huff was. All right. Thank you, Daniel Bigelow. Shep with the $10 super chat. Thank you, OG. He says some of those Georgia boys showed up on the D-line, man. What? Tell me about it. JC, JD. They went off, man. They went off. Jalen Carter was the highest graded defensive tackle for the entire season. There's no D tackle has played a game like Jalen Carter this season, according to PFF. He was the highest graded. Now, Jalen Carter didn't get any sacks. He didn't get any sacks, but he got tons of pressure. He got quarterback hits. He got pass deflections. He got tackles for loss. And in my opinion, a tackle for loss is just as good as a sack, in my humble opinion. If you get a tackle for loss on first down on a running back, that's a sack, in my opinion. That's a sack. It's a reason why they count sacks as tackles for loss. All right, let's see here. And thank you again, Shep. I appreciate your donation, brother. Thank you. All right, let's see here. Donald Roan says if Mitchell makes those pick sixes or makes a few in the future, they will stop picking on him and look elsewhere. First of all, he's a rookie. That's not going to stop. He still has to earn the respect of the league. So far, so good. He's a rookie. That's not going to stop all year, brother. But to your point, though, if he does get some interceptions, if he does get some of those pick sixes, it makes it hard for defense to target him. You're not wrong about that, Donald Roan. You're not wrong. You're not wrong about it at all. But so far, teams have tried to pick on him, and they haven't been that successful. They haven't been very successful. Flexing and Steppin says, just had to correct you, Dank, because you said ain't no one looking his way, but he gave up a game-winning touchdown. Are you talking about Darius Slay? Yeah, he did. He did give up that touchdown. And that's on him, entirely on him. And the last thing I want to do is make it seem like I'm ignoring that. Darius Slay did give up that game-winning touchdown to Drake London. That was awful. And people do and people do tend to define you based off of the one mistake you did rather than all the good plays you made. That's how reputations are made in this league, right? But Darius Slay has been a pretty good corner thus far. Through the first 3 weeks, Darius Slay's been pretty good. He's been pretty good. But I will concede he gave up that game-winning touchdown. You can't do that. I will concede that. All right, let's see here. Keep the main thing says Nolan got like 4 pressures. He sure did. Nolan was in the mix. DankBirdGang says 49ers were going at Sauce Gardner. Was that the week 1 matchup? I didn't get a chance to watch that game. Big Chris says Slay and CJ gave up TDs. Listen, it's the NFL, bro. It's the NFL. TDs happen. You held the Saints to 12 points, Big Chris. See, touchdowns are going to happen. Chris Olave is a good player. It happens. This is the NFL. This is the NFL, y'all. And I don't want you to think I'm going at you, Chris. I'm not going at you, but this is the NFL. Touchdowns are going to happen, especially when you're going against a good player in Chris Olave. It's going to happen. But for the most part, CJ was good in that game. Slay was good in that game for the most part in Atlanta, for the most part. I understand. Those touchdowns go on the resume. But this is the NFL. Guys are going to score. And it was the only touchdown of the day. Their pass coverage was pretty good. They held Derek Carr to a 56% completion percentage. I'm just saying. It's not going to be perfect, but they're doing all right if you ask me. Jesse G94 says, I'm hoping Nolan fully takes the job by the end of the year. Huff ain't got it. Yeah, man. Huff is killing me, man. See, here's the thing, right? You know, believe it or not, y'all, and I don't know how some of y'all are going to feel about this, so I want y'all opinion. It's more important to me for Nolan Smith to hit than it is for Bryce Huff. Tell me if you guys understand what I mean by that. And if you do, explain. In my opinion, it's more important for Nolan Smith to hit than it is for Bryce Huff. Tell me if you guys understand where I'm coming from that, when I say that. Because when it comes to Nolan Smith, you drafted him. You invested a first-round pick in him. He's on a rookie contract. You want him to hit. When you go out in free agency, you bring a player in, you're always taking a risk. Free agency is all. Listen, the money is the money. Money is money. When it comes to the money, Harry Roseman always can finagle that. In the end, the money can be replaced. In the end, the money can be replaced. When you sign somebody in free agency, and look, I told you guys early on when we signed Bryce Huff, I said, can he be a 3-down player? That's my biggest concern. How much faith can I have in a guy that's only played 42% of the snaps on defense, who's only been a third down pass rusher? I said that when we signed him. I'm on record. I'm on record saying how concerned I was about Bryce Huff. I'm on record. If you guys have been watching my show throughout the off season, I'm on record making it very clear how concerned I was about Bryce Huff. So when you sign a guy in free agency, you're always going to overpay and you're always taking a major risk. But when it comes to Nolan Smith, you drafted him. Drafting a guy, it's a risk. It's a different kind of investment. But long term, you want Nolan Smith to be the guy that hits more than anything. If Bryce Huff don't hit, okay, whatever. You guaranteed him $34 million. You can get out of the contract after the second year. You can get out of the contract after the second year of the deal. Right? And also, no one's on a rookie deal. You have flexibility with that. Also, to be fair to Bryce Huff, to be fair to him, to be fair to him, to be fair to him, we're only 3 weeks deep. Can Bryce Huff settle in? Can he settle in? Is there a chance Bryce Huff can turn it around after the bye week? Is there a chance? Again, I'm asking y'all, we're only 3 weeks deep. Is there any hope Bryce Huff can turn it around? We're very early in the season. A player in a new situation, a new defense, being asked for more responsibilities. Is there a chance Bryce Huff can turn it around? He's going to play because they paying him all that money. They're going to continue to give him opportunities. He's going to continue to have opportunities. But I'm not ready to give up on him just yet. It's only been 3 weeks. I'm not ready yet. If we still got these same issues come week 8, then yeah, I'm over him. I'm over him at that point. All right, let me get to these other super chats. Okay, my man Infamous with another super chat. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Oh, let me give DankBirdGang his wrench. I thought I did that already. My bad, Dank. Let me take care of you, brother. Where are you? DankBirdGang, you have your wrench, brother. Thank you for donating to the show. All right, let me get to my man Infamous. Infamous, this has been your 20th super chat, brother. Thank you. Your 20th super chat. It's your 20th anniversary. Same thing goes for Masked Avenger. It's your 20th anniversary. Shout out to Infamous. All right, he says, I called y'all bottom 5 corners as a hyperbole, but y'all corners were ranked 22nd in giving up separation according to Next Gen Stats. It's possible, but we also play zone. So you got to be mindful. Like, you get what I'm saying? How much we also play zone. We don't play man. Infamous. So how does that metric work when you play zone? How reliable is that metric when the Eagles are playing zone most of the time? You know football, so you tell me. I'm asking you now, and I'm not even trying to be facetious. The Eagles play a lot of zone. So in essence, in theory, receivers are going to have some kind of separation because you're in zone. There's going to be pockets in the zone, right? Am I tripping thinking that? They play zone. So there's going to be separation. You see, and here's the thing, right? And look, Infamous, this is not even about you, right? This is why you have to be careful about which stats you use to prove a point. And again, this goes beyond Infamous, right? There are some people on national TV that rely on certain stats because they don't watch the games. But certain stat categories don't tell the whole story because it depends on what kind of scheme your defense is playing. It depends on circumstance and nuance, right? Like, every stat doesn't hold the same weight depending on what you're talking about, right? So that's why it's really important to differentiate It's really important to differentiate and practice some level of discernment when it comes to deciding what stats you want to use to prove a point. And again, this goes beyond infamous. This is just an example. And again, I'm asking, I could be wrong, I could be right. But when you play a zone defense, guys are going to have separation naturally, right? It's a matter of you attacking the ball when you have the opportunity, I would imagine. Thank you, Infamous, so much for your super chat, brother. Thank you for sparking that conversation. Masked Avenger with the $4.99 super chat. He says, do you think we can get Reddick back? Well, for one, I think the Reddick ship has sailed. I have a hard time believing he comes back. And Saquon is our go-to. Dotson has to be more involved. I think Jalen is still unfamiliar with him. We cooking the Bucks. We'll see about the Bucks. That's going to be an interesting game. We're going to be on the road, so we'll see. But as far as Jahan Dotson, yes, they definitely need to continue to carve out his role. Dotson has played a role, though, so far. So far, he's been creating a lot of – Dotson has been able to create a lot of separation for his teammates, right? I understand Dotson isn't getting the ball that much right now. And in this offense, he's probably the 5th or 6th option in this offense. You know, when you lose A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, he elevates to your 3rd option, right? And then you lose Britton Covey. He elevates to your 3rd option. So now Dallas Goedert, Saquon Barkley, Jahan Dotson, those are your top 3 guys right now. You throw in Paris Campbell in there. You know, you got Grant Calcaterra and stuff like that, and you got Kenny Gainwell. But for the most part, Dallas Goedert and Saquon are your guys. Jahan Dotson has to get in where he fits in. And I feel like Jahan Dotson, on that final drive, he did catch a ball, didn't he? He caught a ball on that final drive. And on top of that, he ran the pick play, the perfectly executed pick play to free up Dallas Goedert. Jahan Dotson did so well on that pick play, he caused 3 Saints defenders to run into each other. So even though Jahan Dotson maybe didn't make an impact touching the ball, his intuition, his football instincts helped the Dallas Goedert spring open. Thank you, Master Venture, for your super chat, brother. I appreciate you. Chaotic Green with the $5 super chat. He says, we're going to act like a number 1 wide receiver matched up on a safety and a mismatch now. Fans need to cut CJ some slack. Exactly. A number 1 receiver on a safety is a mismatch every day of the week. Every day of the week. So, Chaotic, I feel you on that 100%. Because as a safety, you have no idea which way they're going. So you have to practice discernment as well. You got to be a good judge of the situation. And when you're a safety and the receiver comes up on you, they have so much space to operate. You're pretty much guessing. Thank you, Chaotic, for your super chat, brother. Flexing and stepping with the $4.99. I love that picture, Flexing. I love it. He says, yeah, Tone. He said, yeah, Tone was saying it was a gamble to sign Huff. He wasn't fully sold on him. Yeah. The moment we signed him, I said, okay, he got 10 sacks, but he only played 42% of the snaps. He was only a 3rd down pass rusher. They didn't use him in run fits. What's his motor like? Who is he really? So I've always been iffy about Bryce Huff from the beginning. Now, as the season got closer, did I err on the side of optimism? Sure, because I'm an Eagles supporter. And I want them to win games, and I want everybody to do well. I was hoping for the best for him, right? But overall, I've always been apprehensive about Bryce Huff. Always. Thank you, Flexing, for holding me down. I appreciate you, brother. Cody with the $5 super chat. He says, I think the team needs to lean more on Goddard, Barkley, and Jake Elliott. Kick more and keep the passing game more simple to slow down turnovers. Bro, I'm so glad you said that, especially about Jake Elliott, right? You can't not depend on Jake Elliott when you actually had a good field goal chance and then all of a sudden put him out there to try to make a 60-yard field goal. He's been cold all game. That's not a good look. A 60-yard field goal comes when your kicker has been, he made a 45-yarder there, a 50-yarder there. He's warmed up the leg. You can't expect him to go out there and kick a 60-yard field goal with a cold leg. Are you serious? So, yeah, we're going to talk about Nick Sirianni. And, yeah, Dallas Goedert and Barkley. until A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith come back, Goddard and Barkley got to eat. Dotson, your turn too, brother. Thank you, Cody, for your super chat. I appreciate you. All right. Now, let me get to a few more comments, and then we're going to take a quick commercial break so we can hear a word from our sponsors. Jinx Wolf says, we made this game so much harder than it had to be. Yeah, offense didn't deliver the goods when it mattered most. And also Nick Sirianni didn't take the points when it mattered most either. Fanny, the Eagles fan, said Huff only had one season with double-digit sacks. We should have went with the devil we know instead of the devil we don't know. Hint, should have kept Haas. I feel you on that. I feel you. The Hassan Reddick move is looking like the Hassan Reddick situation is looking bad right now. Looking real bad. All right, let's see here. All right. All right, let's see here. Hey, I want to show y'all something. Hold on. I want to show y'all something. Reed Blankenship was addressing the team yesterday after the game. Check this out. Y'all. Reed Blankenship addressing the team.
I love y'all boys, man. Love the hell out of y'all. We came in here, we fucking dominated, yes, bro. I want to ride and die with this team. Yes, ride and die. Yes, we got each other's back on me up, right? I love y'all boys, man.
Look at Reed looking icy.
We came in here, we fucking dominated, yes, bro. I want to ride and die with this team. Yes,
look at Reed looking icy.
I love y'all boys, man. Love the hell out of y'all. We came in here, we fucking dominated, yes, bro. I want to ride and die with this team. Yes,
yeah, look at Reed looking icy. Okay. Yeah, man. Listen, I rock with Reed, bro. And Reed Diesel for real. If you pay attention, Reed Diesel. That boy Diesel for real. Shout out to Reed Blankenship, man. For sure. All right, y'all. We're going to take a quick 1 minute break. I repeat, we're going to take a quick 1 minute break so we can hear a word from our sponsor. Thank you guys so much. Smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. I'm your humble host, Tone DeShields II. You're tuned in to Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. And now a word from our sponsor. What's good, sports fans? Are you ready to elevate your live entertainment experience? Well, let me introduce you to SeatGeek, an amazing platform that connects you to your favorite events while saving you money. With SeatGeek, you can easily find tickets for sports games, concerts, and so much more, all in one place. The interface is user-friendly, making it simple to browse and compare prices. And one of the best features is the interactive seating chart. You can see exactly where you'll be sitting and how much you'll be spending, ensuring you get the best value for your money. But here's the best part. Check this out. By using my promo code, ChalkItUpSports, you can enjoy a one-time $20 discount on your first SeatGeek order. That's right, $20 off your first SeatGeek order. Imagine catching that thrilling game or concert without breaking the bank. It's a win-win situation. Plus, you'll be a part of a community of fans who eat, sleep, and breathe live events just as much as you do. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description to download the SeatGeek app today. And don't forget to use my promo code ChalkItUpSports for a one-time $20 discount on your first SeatGeek order. Get excited. Now let's get back to the show. All right. I appreciate y'all for liking on the content. Smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter we win or we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. I'm your humble host, Tone DeShields II. If you guys are new to the channel, thank y'all so much. It means a lot to me. I know you got a ton of options out there, and you're still kicking it with your boy. Thank you. Also, shout out to all my people who are watching after the fact. Some of you guys who can't catch it live, maybe you're catching it on Apple Podcast. Maybe you're catching it on Spotify. Or maybe you're doubling back to the YouTube channel to rewatch some things you missed. Whatever it may be, thank y'all so much for supporting the show. Thank y'all, all of you guys. This is the village. It takes all of us to build this platform here. And I'm nothing without you guys. Thank you. All right. Let me get to my next topic here, and then we're going to get out of here, right? Let me get out of here. So, again, right, we talked about the defense. Let's transition to the offensive side of the ball, because the Eagles had many opportunities to put points on the board in this game. and they clearly failed to do so. And they were moving the ball very well. That was the most frustrating part about this game. The Eagles were clearly the best team on the field on both sides of the ball. They were moving the ball on offense, and they were preventing the Saints from putting points on the board and moving the ball themselves. And the scoreboard just didn't indicate that. The Eagles put up 460 yards of total offense. 460 yards of total offense. Jalen Hurts threw for 311 passing yards. Saquon Barkley had over 150 yards from scrimmage with 2 rushing touchdowns. And he had a 2-point conversion. And Dallas Goedert erupted for 10 catches, putting up 170 yards, averaging 17 yards of reception. He ended the game with a huge 60-plus yard reception to set up the Saquon Barkley game-winning touchdown. So, at face value, you would say the Eagles dominated this game. But the turnovers in the red zone, the penalties, the ill-advised coaching decisions by Nick Sirianni kept points off the board. Quite frankly, Jalen Hurts, he cannot keep hurting his team like this. He can't. He has to be more in control of the football. And from this point forward, Jalen Hurts, and some of you guys may not like this, but it's the reality. From this day forward, Jalen Hurts, by chalking up sports decree, has been deemed and labeled a turnover machine. Jalen Hurts is officially a turnover machine until further notice. Until he strings together about 3 or 4 games in a row with no turnovers, I can't take that label off of him right now. I can't. In order for Jalen Hurts to get that label off of him, he has to string together about 3 or 4 games, no turnovers. That's me. That's my opinion. I'm not trying to convince nobody. And I'm a Jalen Hurts guy. If y'all watch this show, y'all know I give it up for Jalen Hurts. But I also got to acknowledge the reality. I gotta put the medicine in the candy. Y'all. I'm sorry. I understand Devontae could have ran a better route. I understand that. Devontae should have ran a better route. That route concept was really an A.J. Brown route. That was really an A.J. Brown route. And look, I'll be honest about this. I always say, man, they need to give other receivers the A.J. Brown route tree, right, to expand his offense. And that dispelled that right away, immediately yesterday. Some players can't run the same routes because of the physical prowess that's needed for certain route concepts. That route that Devontae Smith ran was an A.J. Brown route. Devontae is too skinny to seal off Tyrann Mathieu. A.J. Brown is the perfect receiver for that ball. So I understand what Jalen Hurts was trying to do, right? It wasn't like a dumb interception. And again, it wasn't like Jalen Hurts threw a dumb interception. It wasn't a dumb interception. It wasn't a dumb throw. It wasn't a dumb throw. I knew what he was trying to do, but it was risky. He was trying to fit the ball between 3 Saint defenders. Devontae Smith was right there. If Devontae Smith flattens that route out a little bit better, at worst, it's an incompletion. But Devontae rounded off the route, making it easy for Tyrann Mathieu to undercut him and pick the ball off. So again, I'm not saying it was an ill-advised decision. I'm saying the turnovers got to stop. Period. Now, 26 turnovers in the last 20 games. What do you guys call that? What do you call that? 26 turnovers in 20 games. 6 turnovers in 3 games. Jalen Hurts leads the league in turnovers. 6 turnovers in 3 games. We got to talk about it. We have to talk about it. Now that we brought it up, nonetheless, despite all that I mentioned, right? The turnovers by Jalen Hurts, right? Despite all of that, Hurts was fantastic on third down. He was fantastic in third and long situations. Jalen Hurts was extremely accurate against the Saints yesterday. Some of you guys might say, hold on, wait, Tone, that's some cognitive dissonance. That's inconsistent. How can you acknowledge the interception but say he was accurate? That doesn't make sense. Well, in my humble opinion, interceptions aren't a clear indicator for being inaccurate, if you ask me. And this is when we get into the weeds. This is when we start to discuss the game more nuanced. Interceptions are not a clear indicator for a quarterback to be inaccurate. Follow me here. Interceptions are not a clear indicator of someone being inaccurate. If a quarterback throws 30 passes in a game and he completes 28 of them and throws one interception, was he inaccurate that day? I'm asking y'all now. If a quarterback, any quarterback, take Jalen Hurts' name off of it. If any quarterback throws 20, if a quarterback throws 30 passes and he connects with 27 of them and he throws one interception, was he inaccurate or accurate? Because in my humble opinion, that quarterback is accurate. He just had one ill-advised throw, or he just made one bad decision. So I say that to say, although Jalen Hurts has turned the ball over, although Jalen Hurts did turn the ball over in that game, twice actually. One was a fumble, which is inexcusable. Jalen Hurts has been insanely accurate. In week 1, Jalen Hurts only completed 59% of his passes. But in back-to-back weeks, week 2, week 3, Jalen Hurts has completed 76% of his passes. In week 2, he completed 76.7% of his passes. In week 3, he completed 76.3% of his passes. Jalen Hurts has been accurate, but he has not made the cleanest decisions. I know that concept may be a little bit too much for you Jalen Hurts haters to comprehend. Is he a turnover machine? As of right now, yes, he is. The only way he gets that off his docket, the only way he gets that off his jacket is if he can string together 3 or 4 games in a row without turning the ball over. Simple as that. Can you give me 3 games in a row, no turnovers? Simple as that. I can't defend 6 turnovers in 3 weeks. The same way how Patrick Mahomes can't defend. He can't defend, what is it? Patrick Mahomes can't defend 5 turnovers or 4 turnovers in 3 weeks, 4 interceptions. Simple as that. So this is the reality, right? Mahomes, as much as we love him, Mahomes, 5 turnovers in 3 weeks. Jalen Hurts, 6 turnovers in 3 weeks. So all I'm trying to say is, and also hear me out on this, right? Patrick Mahomes completed 71% of his passes in week 1. He completed 72% of his passes in week 3. And in week 2. and he completed 66% of his passes in week 3. Patrick Mahomes has been accurate, but has he had some bad decisions or some bad balls sprinkled in there? Absolutely. But Patrick Mahomes is completing 69% of his passes on the season. Jalen Hurts is completing 70% of his throws on the season. They're accurate quarterbacks, but they have some bad decisions mixed into there. So although Jalen Hurts has become a turnover machine as of late, he has been very accurate as well. So you see how we can acknowledge the reality? You see how we can acknowledge our optimism with the reality? You see how we can acknowledge the facts while ignoring the fodder? It's very easy to discuss football factually if you don't have an agenda. Follow me here, y'all. It's very easy to talk about football fairly if you don't have an agenda. But the problem is, you have a lot of people in this game. You have a lot of people in this industry who do have an agenda. You have a lot of people in this industry that are getting paid by certain folks to have certain opinions. You have certain people in this industry who are literally getting paid to feel how they feel. That's the game we in. You know what they called that back in the day? Payola. Payola. Hey, listen, DJ. I got 10 bands for you. Spin this record 10 times. Oh, yeah? You got 10 bands for me? Spin this record 10 times today? Easy money. Hey. Insert name of the sportscaster. Hey, listen, I need you to keep this narrative up. We got a bonus for you. Hey, listen, we just re-upped your contract. I need you to keep this narrative pushing. Hey, brother, you're going against script. You're not reading off the teleprompter. We didn't talk about this. We didn't talk about this in a production meeting. God forbid one of those commentators, one of those analysts deviate from the script. Ooh, spooky. Spooky. So again, although Jalen Hurts has been pissing me the hell off with these turnovers, I can still acknowledge how accurate he's been. Once again, he went 29 for 38, completing 76% of his passes. He went for over 300 passing yards. Despite the turbulence, despite the setbacks, he stayed the course. He stayed the course. He kept battling. And he showed how valuable it is in this league to have a short-term memory. This is why it's so important in this NFL to have a short-term memory. Because if you allow the interceptions, if you allow the fumbles to follow you mentally and emotionally, you won't win football games. And Jalen Hurts, what amazed me the most is that when he knew he had a chance to win this game, he took it. You see, last week, Jalen Hurts had a chance to win the game, and he didn't come through for his guys. Ended the game throwing an INT to Jesse Bates. When he got the same opportunity this week, he knew he couldn't drop the ball. He knew he couldn't make the same mistake twice. He delivered. And he did it without A.J. Brown for the whole game. He lost Lane Johnson and Mekhi Becton before halftime. He lost Devontae Smith at the beginning of the fourth quarter on a cheap shot. This was a huge moment for Jalen Hurts. And this should lead to better performances going forward. This should lead to that. This should lead to better performance going forward. Proving not only to your team, not only to the city, but proving to yourself that you can win football games when you lose 4 starters on the offensive side of the ball, you lose your top 2 targets in the pass game, you lose the entire right side of your offensive line. You're having to deal with poor coaching decisions, coaching malpractice from your head coach. You overcome the turnovers. You got to give credit where credit is due. It was a huge moment for Jalen Hurts, huge moment. And again, the Eagles had no problem moving that ball. Over 400 yards of total offense, over 300 yards passing, over 140 yards rushing, over 170 receiving yards from your tight end, 2 touchdowns from your running back. For 3 straight weeks, the Eagles have not had a problem moving the ball, but they got to protect the ball, and they got to finish in the red zone. And I'm going to get to your comments, you guys. I'm going to get to your super chats. I didn't forget about you, you guys. Trust me, I'm going to get to them. 3 straight weeks, you can move the ball. You got to finish in the red zone. You got to take the points, Nick. You got to take the points, Nick. But on another note, how about Tyler Steen? How about Tyler Steen? How about Fred Johnson? Big Fred. Big Fred. They were awesome, man. Got to give credit where credit is due to those guys, man. You know, the Eagles don't have the greatest track record without Lane Johnson. They don't. They don't have the greatest track record without him. But then you take out Mekhi Becton as well. Hurts showed me something. That offensive line showed me something. All offseason, as a matter of fact, prior to the season starting, right? Some of y'all was saying, not all of y'all, but some of y'all, even people in mainstream media, they were saying, oh, I don't know about that Eagles offensive line depth. I don't know, man. That Eagles offensive line depth is a problem. We need more bodies. We need better guys. What happens if Lane goes down? What happens if Mekhi Becton goes down? What happens if this guy goes down? Insert Fred Johnson. Big Fred. Insert Tyler Steen. Big Ty. And you get what you got. I've always been high on Fred Johnson. That's why the Eagles got him. And I've always been high on Tyler Steen. Now, have I criticized Tyler Steen for his lack of discipline and getting penalties? Sure. But that comes with getting reps. He's a young player. He's never been able to play consistently. He's only come in for injured guys. But from a talent perspective, you love him. He can play right tackle and right guard. He's valuable. Tyler Steen has been a valuable piece for the Philadelphia Eagles. Fred Johnson has been a valuable piece for the Philadelphia Eagles. Tyler Steen and Fred earned some money after that game. Facts. Plus, Cam Jurgens had a significantly cleaner game than his previous 2 games. Cam Jurgens was phenomenal. You see, in week 1, he had trouble snapping the ball. In week 2, he had trouble in the RPO game. This week, he was clean. Stoutland University. Stoutland University. We're taking applications, but everybody can't get in. We are a private institution. We do not rely on the state. Stoutland University is a private institution. You must pay your dues. You must pay your own room and board. You must pay for your own meal plan. If you want to make it at Stoutland University, you will have to sacrifice. You will have to give me everything: blood, sweat, tears, mind, body, and soul. Stoutland University is not for the faint of heart. Stoutland University is not for the weak. Can I get an amen? Can I get an amen? Big Fred, Big Ty, Big Kim. Come on, man. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. All right, let me get to your comments here, then we're gonna get out of here. Let me get to your comments, man. Let me get to your comments. All right. Super chat. You guys are awesome. My man Infamous 2K with the 499. He says Wentz would have had the same stat line, but lose the game with Greg Ward and Travis Fulgham as wide receivers, and y'all dogged him, but praise Hurts. Time's out. I don't know who you talking to, Infamous, because if you see my show, see the thing is, damn, I started doing my show in 2020, and that was the year that Wentz started to, that was the year Wentz made it to the playoffs. That was the year that Wentz had over 4,000 yards with only receivers having 500 yards, right? So, or no receiver had more than 500 yards receiving. So you kind of caught me on the downside of Carson Wentz. But Infamous, if you knew me before Carson Wentz's demise, if you knew me, I have always been a Carson Wentz guy. I used to argue with people. Listen, even after Nick Foles won the Super Bowl, you know what I said? I said Carson Wentz is the guy. There's no way in hell you choose Nick Foles over Carson Wentz over the long term. We gave a ton of credit to Carson Wentz. A ton of credit. I don't like that narrative when people act like nobody gave Carson Wentz love or nobody gave Carson Wentz any kind of credit. I don't like that narrative. Carson Wentz got plenty of love here. And when he was asked, he got plenty of hate. But guess what? I still gave Carson Wentz love. I still campaigned for him. I was on the side of Carson Wentz coming back under Nick Sirianni, competing against Hurts. I was. Why did he run from the smoke? Why did Carson Wentz run from the blood? I was a Carson Wentz guy. Supported the hell out of him. And he ran from the smoke. He ran from the smoke. Why don't nobody talk about that? He ran. He could have bodied it with the city. He could have said, you know what? I know last season didn't go the way we went, and I know a guy benched. Guess what? This is my team. This is my city. No, ain't no Ricky coming in taking my shit. He could have came in and said, ain't no Ricky taking my shit. You know what he did? He ran. He ran. So, of course, people are going to have something bad to say about him. Of course. He ran. I will always say the Eagles don't win that Super Bowl without Carson Wentz. The Eagles don't get the number 1 seed without Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz was arguably the most talented quarterback the Eagles have ever had. Matter of fact, I take that back. Randall Cunningham. I take that back. Randall Cunningham was a freak. Randall Cunningham probably was the most talented quarterback the Eagles have ever had. If only Randall Cunningham had a coach. If only Randall Cunningham had an offensive line. Can you imagine Randall Cunningham with an offensive line? The entire Randall Cunningham run, no offensive line. The owner did not want to invest in it. Can you imagine Randall Cunningham with an offensive fucking line? Oh. Let me get to these other super chats. All right, let's see. Jesse G94 says, hopefully we get at least Lane and AJ back Sunday. Hopefully, man. Hopefully. I don't know if Smitty gonna play, man. That was a pretty hard hit. But maybe, look, I don't know, man. That was a tough hit on Smitty. He looked fine getting up, though, but we'll see. Thank you, Jesse, for your super chat. Infamous 2K says, if both the turnovers became TDs for Hurts, y'all wouldn't be saying he had a good game. Jaden Daniels over Hurts. We winning tonight. I hope so. Who y'all play tonight, as a matter of fact? Who y'all play? Y'all play Cincinnati. Cincinnati gonna get y'all. Cincinnati desperate. Y'all running into a buzzsaw. Infamous. Y'all running into a buzzsaw. Cincinnati is 0-2. Cincinnati winning that game. Sorry. Y'all running into a buzzsaw. Cincinnati got a lot to clean up. Cincinnati gonna come up with a vengeance. Y'all running into a buzzsaw. Sorry. All right. Let me get to those super chats. Alex O with the $1.99 super chat. He says, someone check Sirianni's phone. He got to be gambling. Yo, bro, Sirianni, his decision-making was awful. Awful. They won in spite of him. They won in spite of him. That's a fact. That is an absolute fact. Let's see. Thank you, Alex, for your super chat. It means a lot to me. Let me make sure I take care of my people with their wrenches too. Okay. Okay, Alex, you got your wrench already. Bet. All right. Okay. All right, let me get back to the super chats. Infamous 2K also says Daniels is the second best quarterback in the NFC East behind Dak. Whatever help you sleep at night, bro. One thing I will say about Jaden Daniels, though, one thing I will say about him is one thing I will give him credit for is he's done a good job protecting the football. He's done a good job protecting the football. He's been very accurate. I will give him credit for that. He doesn't have any touchdowns on the season as far as throwing the ball, but Jaden Daniels has been very accurate. Very accurate. I got a ton of respect for him. I like what I've seen from him so far. Look, see, I can be honest. I can acknowledge. I can get a kid love. I'm not ready to say he's the second best quarterback in the division, though. I ain't ready to say that. But I can give him credit. He's been accurate. You know, they haven't asked him to throw the ball, but so much. Let me double check this here. So yeah, he threw the ball 24 times in week 1, 29 times in week 2. 17 for 24, 23 for 29. He's been accurate. He's completing 75% of his passes on the season. He has two rushing TDs. Over 100 yards rushing for the season. Yeah. Yeah, I have nothing bad to say about Jaden Reed. Nothing bad. I mean, not Jaden Reed. Jaden Daniels. Excuse me. I ain't got nothing bad to say about him. Not one bit. He looks efficient. I like that. He's efficient. G Fish with the $2 super chat. He says, "You see Huff out there doing the cha-cha slide again?" Yo, bro. If I see him fall on the ground one more time, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. Thank you, G Fish, for your $2 super chat, brother. Thank you. Mansa Musa with the $4.99 super chat. Thank you. I appreciate it. He says here, this defense can be serious, Tone. I want consistency. Offense showed a lot with guys out. We are tough. We needed our coach to tighten up. QB to stop the turnovers. Facts, man. You're right. Quarterback got to stop turning the ball over. Your head coach has to be more disciplined. This team is tough. This team is definitely tough. You definitely can't take that away from them. You can't take that away from them at all. All right, you guys. That's our show. I appreciate y'all so much. I got so much love for y'all. The show was nothing without you guys. Make sure you guys double back and go check out the Chalk It Up Sports merch shop. We got so much content on there, or so much merchandise, as a matter of fact. We got hoodies, we got sweatshirts, we got oversized tees. They all come in a variety of colors. Make sure you guys bless yourself, man. The hoodies come in green and black and charcoal gray. The sweatshirts come in black, army green, and gray as well. The shirts come in black, tan, and green as well. We're blessing you guys. We got so many colorways on the horizon. Make sure you guys lock in on the merchandise. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. All the links to everything that you may need when it comes to Chalk It Up Sports merchandise, it's all available in the live chats. It's available in the links in the description. It's available in the live stream itself, all over my YouTube channel. You can't miss it. Links are everywhere on my Twitter as well. All you guys got to do is click the link and support. So I appreciate y'all so much for locking in on the content. I appreciate y'all for locking in on the merchandise, locking in on the giveaways. Also, as a friendly reminder, you guys, make sure you check out Chalk It Up Sports, not only on YouTube. We are available to listen on Apple Podcasts, and we are also available to listen and watch on Spotify. Whenever the live stream ends on YouTube, we always upload it on Spotify and Apple Podcast within the hour. So that's a shout out to my people who do a lot of driving, to my people who do a lot of working out in the gym. Those of you guys who just want the show running in the background on your phone, but you can't leave it on YouTube because YouTube is giving you problems, whatever it may be. I wanted to make sure I blessed you guys. I wanted to make sure I gave you guys plenty of options, okay? YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. The show is available on more platforms than one, and I appreciate you guys for showing the amount of support you guys have shown. That goes a long way with me. Smash that like button. Thank you guys so much for the super chats. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the show. I've been your humble host, Tone DeShields II. We got some more content coming out later on in the day. We're going to be live later on at 3 p.m. Eastern time for the link up. You're going to see Simone Stanley in her greatness. Lord Brunson makes his comeback. We appreciate y'all so much. Smash that like button. Make sure you guys lock in on the shows coming out later on today and lock in on the channel going forward. I've been your humble host, Tone DeShields II. You've been tuned in to Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. What's good, sports fans? Are you ready to elevate your live entertainment experience? Well, let me introduce you to SeatGeek, an amazing platform that connects you to your favorite events while saving you money. With SeatGeek, you can easily find tickets for sports games, concerts, and so much more, all in one place. The interface is user-friendly, making it simple to browse and compare prices. And one of the best features is the interactive seating chart. You can see exactly where you'll be sitting and how much you'll be spending, ensuring you get the best value for your money. But here's the best part. Check this out. By using my promo code, Chalk It Up Sports, you can enjoy a one-time $20 discount on your first SeatGeek order. That's right, $20 off your first SeatGeek order. Imagine catching that thrilling game or concert without breaking the bank. It's a win-win situation. Plus, you'll be a part of a community of fans who eat, sleep, and breathe live events just as much as you do. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description to download the SeatGeek app today. And don't forget to use my promo code, Chalk It Up Sports, for a one-time $20 discount on your first SeatGeek order. Get excited. Now let's get back to the show.